So, you're in the market for a laser cleaner, and you've probably noticed the prices are, well, they're all over the place. What are you actually paying for? Today, we're going to pull back the curtain and go straight to the source to figure out the real cost and, more importantly, the real value of this awesome technology. Let's jump in. Let's just get right to it. Is that huge price tag you're seeing from some companies really just for a familiar name slapped on the side of a machine? It's a bold question, for sure, but we're going to find out. Before we dive into the lasers, let's just quickly remember why we're even looking at them. You know the old ways, right? Sandblasting, chemical stripping. Sure, it works, but man, the mess, the constant buying of consumables, the safety hazards, it's a headache. Laser cleaning is supposed to be the fix for all that. Okay, now here is the first major secret that most distributors really don't want you to know. Turns out, there's a 90% chance that the laser cleaner you're looking at, no matter the brand, came from one of only 5 major factories in China. Yep, just 5. And here's the number that just changes the entire game. Once those machines get shipped over to a US distributor, they slap on a markup of anywhere from 50 to a full 100%. Woof. Let's just follow the money for a second. So, a machine leaves the factory with a price tag of around $5,500. The distributor adds their margin, and by the time it gets to you, you're paying 10, maybe even 15 grand. That huge gap, that's what you're paying for the middleman. So you might be wondering, where does that initial factory price even come from? Well, let's crack open a typical 1500-watt laser and see what you're actually paying for, component by component. This chart tells the whole story, doesn't it? Just look at that huge purple slice. A whopping 40% of the entire cost is the laser source itself. It's the heart of the machine, and it absolutely dwarfs everything else, from the cooling system to the controls. And here are the hard numbers, the real nitty-gritty. That Raycus laser source we just talked about, that cost the factory $2,800. You add everything up, the cooling, the optics, the assembly, and the total manufacturing cost is $5,700. Tack on the factory's own margin and warranty, and you get a direct from factory price of $8,699. Remember that number. So what does that mean for your wallet? Well, when you compare that factory direct price to what distributors are charging, you are looking at saving $4,000 to $7,000 per machine. For any business, big or small, that's a massive deal. Okay, so buying direct can save you a fortune. Awesome. But now for the next big question. Which machine should you actually get? Let's break down the 2 main types of lasers so you can pick the absolute right tool for your job. I love this analogy because it just makes everything click. Think of a pulse laser, like a surgeon's scalpel. It's incredibly precise, perfect for delicate work where you can't afford to damage the material underneath. Then you have the continuous wave, or CW laser. That's your heavy-duty pressure washer, just pure raw power for blasting through thick rust and paint. And you can see how that plays out right here in this table. CW lasers are way faster, they're cheaper per watt, and they're absolute beasts on heavy rust. Pulsed lasers, on the other hand, give you that amazing precision with almost no heat transfer, but it's a slower process. It's that classic trade-off, speed and power versus precision and finesse. So, what's the verdict? Well, for the vast majority of jobs out there, we're talking like 80% of them, things like general rust and paint stripping, a 1500 to 2000 watt CW laser is going to give you the absolute best bang for your buck. Hands down. All right, let's make this super practical. We're going to run through a quick guide right now to match the perfect laser to your specific kind of project. Think of this as your cheat sheet. Doing auto restoration? The recommendation is a 1000 to 1500 watt CW laser, and you're looking at a direct price of around 6 to 8 grand. But hey, if you're cleaning delicate injection molds, you'll need the finesse of a pulse laser. This chart lays it all out, the right tool for the job and what it should really cost. Now, I know what some of you are thinking. Buying direct from an overseas factory, that feels like a big leap of faith. And you're right to be cautious. So let's talk about exactly what you need to look for to make sure you're dealing with a top-notch, reputable manufacturer. And hey, you don't have to take my word for it. Hearing from other buyers is just crucial. This review from a customer named Antoine really hits the nail on the head. He points out 2 key things. 1, it's smart to pay for quality parts. And 2, good customer service after the sale is literally priceless. These are the acronyms you absolutely want to see. CE, FDA, ISO. These aren't just random letters. They are your proof, your guarantee that the manufacturer is meeting global standards for safety, for quality, and for U.S. compliance. And always ask what's inside the machine. When you see names like Raycus, JPT, or Max listed as the laser source, you know they're using the exact same high-quality Tier 1 components that you'd find in those machines that cost twice as much. And finally, check the warranty. This is your safety net. A solid 2-year warranty that covers all the important parts, plus lifetime tech support. That's a huge sign that a company truly stands behind its product for the long haul. All right, let's bring this all home and talk about what really matters at the end of the day. The real bottom line, your return on investment, because the price you pay up front is only half the story. Get ready for this number because it is an absolute game changer. Your hourly operating cost for one of these machines is basically just the electricity you use. We're talking 50 cents to maybe $2 an hour. That's it. No more buying blasting media, no more chemicals, no messy cleanup. And that translates into some serious savings. When you stop shelling out cash for sand, chemicals, and waste disposal, most businesses see their consumable costs drop by over 80%. That's just huge. So we end up right back where we started. But now you know the whole story. You know the real manufacturing costs, you know about the crazy markups in the supply chain, and you know about the long-term operational savings. So you have to ask yourself, is that distributor's logo really worth an extra $7,000 to your business? Well, that's a question only you can answer.